Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I haven't been on here in a little while because I've just been super busy with momming and traveling and working, so I'm finally back on here. I'm trying to figure out kind of what style of videos I want to make, and today I decided to do something a little bit different and talk to you about some of my budgeting tips. My husband and I, we live on a low income. We're super young still. Do I have stuff in my teeth? Probably. It's definitely her bedtime. I chose a bad time to do this. But anyway, like I was saying, my husband and I were super young. I'm 20, he's 23, and we live on a low income. We're still figuring out life. Maybe I'll go get her and let her join the show. So for those of you who don't know, this is my daughter, Maven. She's a sweetie pie. Anyway, so as I was saying, we are newlyweds, very young, we're still figuring out life. And like most people our age, you know, we don't have a lot of money to spare. We don't get to, you know, travel as much as we want to. We don't get to spend as much money as we want to or buy all the nice, pretty things. But my husband and I, we managed to save about $18,000 a year on a low $40,000-ish income. I wanted to share some of my secrets and tips on how we're able to save a large chunk. I think it's like 26 or 27% of our income that we save. Am I gonna have to put you to bed? Am I gonna have to go put you to bed? Say hi. So anyway, let's get right to it. In my handy dandy Dollarama notebook, I've written down a bunch of my tips. Note that I bought this from Dollarama. I'm cheap. It's how we save money. So the first thing I have on here is get rid of as many monthly payments as you can. I found, especially when my husband and I were first married, you know, you think, you know, oh, I'll get the $10 Spotify premium, $10 a month. No big deal, it's only $10. And then, oh, like I'll get this other thing and this other thing, Netflix and all this and that. And it seems like a little bit in the moment, but when you start adding them up, oh my gosh, it gets so expensive. So my husband and I, we went through all of the monthly payments and figured out how much we were paying every month and just random stuff that we don't really need. So we each had like separate Spotifys, for example. We got rid of mine and now we share one. So there are little things like that that you can do. Just get rid of as many as you can, and I promise it is a huge relief, you know, when it comes to the end of the month and you don't have like $1 million to spend in random monthly payments. Next on the list, my hair is doing some weird funky stuff right now. I'm sorry. I'm also, I don't know if I mentioned, I'm sick. So sorry that I sound super sick, but you know, I figured I just had to power through it. Anyway, the next thing is, it's so tempting as a young adult, you know, when you're out on your own or when you first get married, getting a brand new car is super tempting. But don't fall in that trap, because you'll end up having to pay hundreds of dollars every month to finance, or if you're lucky enough to buy it outright, then whatever, this doesn't really apply to you. But regardless, just don't do it. You know, my husband and I, we have gone through 4 cars in the year and a half that we've been married, which sucks. I really should be filming when she is napping, but somehow that never happens. Yeah, get a third-party mechanic to go with you, and it might cost an extra, I don't know, $100, but it's worth it. They can check the car for you, make sure, you know, there's not too many issues with it, and then you're good. And then you can, you know, buy a used car and just live with that for the meantime. My husband and I have a 2007 Kia Rio 5. Very fancy, but we bought it for $2,300, and there are a few problems with it that we didn't realize, but it still works fine and we manage with it. And it's so nice not having to pay, you know, for our car every month. You know, all we have to worry about is gas and insurance, and that's all we have to worry about. And speaking of insurance, we're not doing this now, but for a good portion of our marriage, we only had my husband on the insurance. So I didn't drive, we just had my husband drive, and it saved us about $150 a month because I got in a couple accidents and our insurance went through the roof, like over $7,000 a year. So we had me off our insurance for that reason, and it saved us a lot of money. So if you can manage just having one person on insurance, do it, because it will save you money. Another thing I highly recommend is eliminate as much debt as you can. You know, after you have a good little comfy savings, like emergency fund, just focus on paying off that debt, because the longer that debt is sitting there, it's going to grow and grow and grow. That interest, it might not seem like a lot right now, but the more you leave it, the more you're gonna pay. And only paying the minimum payment is not actually really helping you pay off your debt at all. You might feel good doing it, but it's not, like, at that rate, it will take you like 60 years to pay it off or something crazy like that. Anyway, just focus on paying it off. It will feel so good, and it'll be nice having that baggage gone. You don't have to worry about interest. You don't have to worry about paying it off anymore. Just rip off the Band-Aid and pay it all off. That's what my husband and I did. We had, I don't know, like $5,000 in credit card debt, so it's not like insane, but we ended up paying most of it off in one, we ended up paying most of it off in one big chunk, and it feels great not having any debt. So we can just focus on saving, and we don't have to worry about paying extra interest. So the next thing is buy secondhand when you can. If there's something that you need, I'm sorry, this is really distracting. Maybe I'll nurse her. That's a good idea. Like I was saying, you can't buy everything secondhand, obviously, but if there is something you need, check the secondhand stores first. Do some thrift shopping. It's actually really fun. It does take up a lot of time sometimes, but sometimes you can get some really good finds for super cheap. And you know, my husband and I, whenever we need new clothes, or if we need new clothes for our daughter, we always go to thrift stores just to check first, because you know, sometimes we really thank ourselves, because you know, you find great deals and we walk out of the store with, you know, some really good finds for not that expensive, and we know that had we gone to like a different store first, we would have spent 4 times the amount. So just check first before you buy new, and you might surprise yourself. Another thing, this is the big culprit for us. We love eating out. Some days I just really don't feel like cooking, and I just so badly want to eat out, get some McDonald's, you know, go to a fancy restaurant once in a while. But anyway, like I was saying, we love eating out. And my husband and I have made a rule that if we can't afford to match the amount that we're paying to eat out and put the same amount into savings, then we don't eat out. So anytime that we go out to eat, we put as much money as we spent on eating out, we put the same amount into savings, just as, you know, first off, to make us feel less bad about eating out, but also just to encourage us to, you know, save more. So that's been really great for us. Can you hear that? She's a really loud eater. I live in Calgary, Alberta, so you know, we have Safeway here. I don't know what grocery stores you have local to you, but with our grocery store, every first Tuesday of the month, we get 15% off all of our groceries, or we get 20 times the air miles. So I don't know what deals that your local grocery store has on, but keep your eye out. We always do the bulk of our grocery shopping for the first half of the month on that first Tuesday of the month, because we can save 15% or we can collect tons of air miles that will help us fly. Jason's family lives in Ontario, so we have to fly there pretty often to go visit. So about 2 to 3 times a year, we have to spend over $1,000 on airfare to go visit his family. So it really helps to be able to slowly collect air miles to help us pay for flights. Another one is try to find cheap rent. We get a really good deal on our rent because we are resident managers of the apartment building we live in. So basically we, fill apartments that are vacant, we clean the building, we take care of the tenants, all that kind of stuff, and it ends up that we only end up paying like $250 in rent. So that saves us a lot of money. So all the money we would have paid in rent, we throw into savings right away. So we pay $1,200 in rent, but the company that pays us to do the resident managing, we get paid $930. We throw that straight into our savings. We don't even touch it at all. So that has been a huge factor to us being able to save $18,000 a year. So if you can pick up a resident managing job, that's a great way to save money. Another thing is you can set up with your bank for them to automatically take money out of your paycheck and put it straight into savings. So whether that be $10, $15, $30, $50, $100, whatever you want, they can automatically take money off of your paycheck and put it right into savings without you even noticing, which is a really great way to just slowly build up your savings without having to consciously think about it. So that really adds up over time. Try to have, at least a couple streams of income. So for us, my husband, he works 3 different jobs. But with this resident managing job, like I said, we save all of it. Try to find a certain stream of income that you can exclusively save, that you don't have to rely on to live, but you just, can put it straight into savings. Another rule that we have in our house is we never touch savings unless it's an actual emergency. But we never take money out of savings to, go out for dinner. We never take money out of savings to go see a movie. We never take money out of savings to, buy a new couch. We don't really do that. We just keep it there in case, Jason loses a job, or unless we have an enormous amount of car repairs to do, or we have to buy a new car, just that kind of thing. So we don't touch it for any leisurely reasons, any fun reasons. We don't touch our savings, but for any emergencies we can, but we haven't really had a ton of emergencies. So yeah, so that is basically all that I can think of. That's pretty much all of our tricks, but I would highly recommend that you sit down, whether you're single or whether you're married, sit down with either your partner or your spouse or just by yourself and write down all of your monthly expenses, just so you are aware of how much you need to spend per month and how much wiggle room you have. And also, it might be good to, for 1 month, write down everything you're spending money on, whether that be, buying a pop at the gas station while you're filling gas, whether it's, buying a burger at McDonald's, all the small things, because it's really great to be aware of where your money is going. My husband and I did this for a month or 2 last year, and it was super eye-opening to see how much unnecessary money we were spending, and it really helped us to make more conscious choices when it came to purchasing things and just being aware of where our money's going. Just challenge yourself and try to keep track of all of your expenses, and it might actually help you to be a little bit wiser with your money. Anyway, that is pretty much all for this video. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something new. Oh wow, I look very glowy and sweaty right now. That's just the fever kicking in. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and click that bell notification to be updated whenever I upload. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day.